Right, in question 6.2, we're given this function, and it's a hyperbola. So that's one thing I'm just going to point out from the get-go, hyperbola. And it has the following properties. The domain is x an element of R, except for at x is equal to -2. It's not defined there. Y is equal to x plus 6 is an axis of symmetry, and the function is increasing for all x an element of R, x not equal to -2. So then they say draw a neat sketch of this graph. Okay, so what do we know about a hyperbola? Well, a hyperbola can either look like this, and this is an increasing hyperbola. Okay, so we already know that our hyperbola is going to look like this and not like a decreasing hyperbola. Just for interest, a decreasing hyperbola looks like this. Okay, so we already know it's an increasing hyperbola, and that's because of this criteria here. In addition, we also know that it's going to be a shifted hyperbola. We know it's going to be a shifted hyperbola because it's not defined at x is equal to -2. So the asymptote's not going to be centered around 0 like in this generic sketch here. It's going to be centered around x is equal to -2. Okay, what else? Well, the function y is equal to x plus 6 is an axis of symmetry implies that this is going to be a shifted hyperbola, because in this generic sketch here, we can see the axis of symmetry is y is equal to x. So as soon as you shift the axis of symmetry upwards, that means that these hyperbolas are going to move upwards as well. Okay, and we also know that from the fact that we have a plus q, so that means it's shifted. Okay, so how are we going to do that? Well, we're going to start with the easiest thing, and that is the asymptote that's already given to us as x is not equal to -2. So here's our axes, and we have x is not equal to -2. Okay, so this is x is equal to -2. And now we're going to use the fact that y is equal to x plus 6 is an axis of symmetry. So I'm just going to draw a rough diagram of y is equal to x plus 6 like that. And what you can hopefully see is that we're going to have a hyperbola that's going to be centered around this. And so where we can get our other asymptote from is by plugging in x is equal to -2 into this function. So that y is equal to -2 plus 6, which is equal to 4. So then y is equal to 4 as our other asymptote. Okay. So what did I do? Well, we know we have a axis of symmetry with x plus 6. And that means that we're going to have our hyperbola being reflected across x plus 6. And so to find the y asymptote, we simply plug in x is equal to -2 into our reflexive line to find the vertical shift. Okay, so this is a very rough sketch. So let's just draw it properly. It's going to look like this. And it's not going to be defined at x is equal to -2. And it's not going to be defined at y is equal to 4. It's an increasing hyperbola, which means that it's going to take this shape. Whoops, that's not brilliant. Okay, I might have to just freehand this one. It's going to look something like that. And x is equal to -2 and y is equal to 4 are our asymptotes, and that's all it wants us to show.